No, why did you know Greek? It's because the Israelites would call themselves that, man.
Alright, Shalom. All praises to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, Racha, Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well and labor in the word and doctrine. And it's hot in our blood. It's hot in the UK. So forgive me. I should have brought some water out, really. So if I'm not taking punctuated pauses, that is the reason. And Shalom, meaning peace unto the elect. So this is 2 Maccabees 6 and 6. Obviously the brother read it. 2 Maccabees 6:6. Neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient fasts or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. And so if you couldn't keep the Sabbath day, which goes into the customs, the culture, you couldn't keep ancient fasts, for example, the Day of Atonement, or to profess himself at all to be a Jew. And what does that mean? He had to, quote unquote, assimilate and make himself the same as, if we look at that word there. Assimilate. Says, early 15th century physiology, absorb into, make part of the body. Right, so they had to be part of the body of the Grecos, the Greekish freakers. From Latin assimilatus, past participle of assimilare, to make, like, copy, imitate, assume the form of, feign, pretend, from assimilated form of ad, meaning to. Similar makes similar. Right, so it's where you get the term similar, or at least the root is. There you have it, similus, like, resembling of the same kind. So to make them the same kind, just like when you have, it's actually First Maccabees 1, around 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people. Right, to be one people, they should all be the same kind, the same similars, or similar, whatever it said, similars. All should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. So everyone should leave their laws. Everyone had the same sort of, their own sort of, not the same. They had their own sort, meaning manner, sort of gender, same, not their own kind of laws. But this man wanted to make them the same. Sorry, I keep saying the same when I mean own. Right, so everyone had their own sort of custom, their own sort of carrying themselves, their own manner of doing things. But this guy, Antiochus, the wicked devil, he wanted everyone to be one, everyone to assimilate, everyone to join his thing. Which, if you go into the Tower of Babel, the one time that this will be, or a similus thing will be established when all the heathen are following the laws that go forth from Jerusalem. That's the only righteous way that this will be manifested. But of course we understand that'll be made manifest under an ethnic hierarchy. And just real quick to get 2 scriptures, Isaiah 2:2, and it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain, meaning the kingdom, the mountain of Yahweh's house shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. The same way you have in Micah. This is not the same, but it is similar. You could say that all nations under one order. This is the true order, because he was trying to do it under wicked and pork sacrificing laws. So Micah 4:1. But in the last days it shall come to pass that the mountain of the house of Yahawah shall be established in the top of the mountains, and it shall be exalted above the hills, and people shall flow into it. So he was going off, this Antiochus geezer, because he wanted to do this, but he wanted to try and put away the Israelites from their laws, or put away the laws of the Israelites. So 1 Maccabees 1:42, and everyone should leave his laws, so all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Verse 43, yea, many also of the Israelites consented to his religion, and sacrificed unto idols, and profaned the Sabbath. Right, so you see that they were profaning the Sabbath, and when they left their laws, they consented to his religion. Now in this seclorum, in this world, it'll be that our quote-unquote laws are viewed as a religion, but it was very much the opposite in this time, in that time rather. Verse 44, for the king had sent letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, that they should follow the strange laws of the land, and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple, and that they should profane the Sabbaths and festival days. So festival days, it doesn't just go into fast days anymore. The festival days, you can think of many. The Feast of Weeks, the Feast of them. It says verse 46, and pollute the sanctuary and holy people. Right, 47, and set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, which is where you have big things of Caesar, Serapis, maybe at these times, but there's nothing new. There's nothing where you can go, see, this is new. It had already been before us. Chapels of idols sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts. Today, common is shrimp, lobster, crab. These are used as delicacies. Squid, there's some rare octopus, and all of they, of course, will be in violation of Deuteronomy 14, Leviticus 11, foods that we're not meant to eat. So all of these, man, we're moving Greekish, a Greekish fashion. I want to go into a bit of this, because everyone will say, yeah, but they're not, they're Corinthians or they're Disians. For example, let's touch on the Corinthians. Where's Corinth? What is it? 1 Corinthians 10. Everyone says, see that now these Corinthians, they're non-Israelites. 1 Corinthians 10, verse 1. Moreover, brethren, I would not that you should be ignorant how that all our fathers were under the cloud, and all passed through the sea, and were all baptized into Moses in the cloud and in the sea, did all eat the same spiritual meat, and did all drink the same spiritual drink, for they drank of that spiritual rock that followed them, and that rock was Hamashiach. Now, who was in the wilderness? Who was baptized under the, unto Moses in the cloud and in the sea? Now, this is talking about the nation of Israel, the people, the Israelites. Same way Romans, you'll be like, oh yeah, but they're from Rome. Romans 4:1, what should we say then that Abraham our father, as pertained to the flesh, had found? So you'll say it's a big mixed multitude of all these different people. But there's many nations that came out of Abraham. There were also many nations that weren't. So otherwise you're going to have to say all these people, they didn't just happen to be Israelites. They were Israelites, Edomites, Ishmaelites, and whatever, the Hagarenes, I believe they come out of Abraham. Correct me if I'm mistaken. But the point is, they were calling themselves something that wasn't the men that they descended from. Right, Rome, they were in Rome, to all that be in Rome. It says, Romans 1 and 7, to all that be in Rome, beloved of power. So everyone might say, oh, well, they're Edomites. The Edomites come from Abraham. Right, but they're not beloved of Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi. So it's called to be saints. Who are the saints? Read Psalm 50 and 5, Psalm 148 and 14. Who are the saints? Israel. Grace to you and peace from power, Abanawa, Yahawah, our Father, and the Lord, Ha'adawan, Yahawashi, HaMashiach. This is what caught my mind, and I'm going back into this. 2 Maccabees 4 and 9. Beside this, he promised to assign, I believe this is Jason, yeah, there it is. So start there. 2 Maccabees 4 and 7. But after the death of Seleucus, or Seleucus, however you say it, when Antiochus called Epiphanes took the kingdom, Jason, the brother of Ananias, labored underhand to be high priest, promising to the king by intercession 303 talents of silver. 303 score will be when you have, I think a score is 20. 603 score and 6, does it say that? Let me just check that with a bit of a mind blank. 603, yeah, 3 score. So 3 score is 3 20s. So 600, 300. Sorry, 660 and 6. Oh my gosh, that's worse than Arabic numerals. Anyway, so let's go back into that. So it says 303 talents of silver. So 360 talents of silver. And of another revenue, 80 talents. Beside this, he promised to assign 150 more, if he might have license to set him up a place for exercise, for the training up of the youth in the fashions of the heathen, and to write them of Jerusalem by the name Antiochans. Right, so remember, it's not lawful for them to call themselves Jews anymore, but he wanted for them of Jerusalem to be written, written of, to be named, the Jerusalem, in Jerusalem, so the Jews are them keeping, or who used to, and whose fathers used to keep the customs, now he wanted them to be called Antiochans. Right, the next verse, which when the king had granted, and he had gotten into his hand the rule, he forthwith brought his own nation to Greekish fashion. His own nation were what? If they were from the high priest, what nation is that? What specific tribe is that? Alright, so they were all becoming, effectively, Greeks. Right, we'll keep reading. And the royal privilege is granted of special favour to the Jews by the means of John, the father of Eupolemus, who went ambassador to Rome for amity and aid. He took away and putting down the governments which were according to the law. He brought up new customs against the law. For he built gladly a place of exercise, which is what? A gym. Right, gymnasium, which is some funny man shit. When you search up gym, no, in fact, let me just put gym. Right, short for gymnasium, what does it mean? A place of exercise, from Latin gymnasium, school for gymnastics, like it said, training up the youth in the fashions of the heathen. It says bodily exercises, literally or figuratively, literally to train naked. Right, from gymnos, naked, and that's how they got down. These were the fashions of the heathen. Not really our fathers like that, but the men that came before us in our nation, they lived before us, and some of us, or some of them, are among us today. Lord willing, we're not of that. Lord willing, we are not them in the reincarnation, in that lot. But they were all about that. They were about getting down and assimilating to the point of complete detriment to their dignity and to their livelihood, whether they realized it or not at the time. For he built gladly a place of exercise under the tower itself. So he built a gymnasium where they trained naked, and brought the chief young men under his subjection and made them wear a hat, a certain Greek hat, a quote-unquote special one. Now such was the height of Greek fashions and increase of heathenish manners through the exceeding profaneness of Jason, the ungodly wretch and no high priest, that the priest had no courage to serve any more at the altar, but despising the temple and neglecting the sacrifices, hastened to be partakers of the unlawful allowance in the place of exercise after the game of discus, called them forth, and you have that today. And this is very topical, because you have the Olympics going on right now, and all of that. What is that? The scriptures talk about Jupiter, Olympus, something like that. Just put Olymp. There it is. There it is. 2 Maccabees 6, and we actually did just read that. Verse 6 says they weren't allowed to call themselves Jews. 2 Maccabees 6 and 2, and to pollute also the temple in Jerusalem, and to call it the temple of Jupiter Olympius, and the Ingarazim of Jupiter the defender of strangers, as they did desire that dwelt in the place. So the ones that lived there, they wanted that to happen. Right, verse 15. Not setting by the honours of their fathers, but liking the glory of the Grecians, best of all. That's why when we're in the book of Romans, how rampant Hellenization was. There's neither Jew nor Greek. Right, them keeping the customs, or them that have been Hellenized to the point that they even start thinking they're Greeks. And I had one image here. Look, man, they're old Jake. Even that guy's probably Blake Griffin. You know what I mean? All of these are the Greeks, man. These are them that were Jews. They were not sitting. Not, what does it say? Verse 15 here. 2 Maccabees 4 and 15. Not sitting by the honours of their fathers, but liking the glory of the Grecians, the best of all. And these are the man. Maybe not them, maybe them. But these are the ones that love the fashions of the Greeks. They don't like the fashion of their fathers, but they prefer the fashion of their Greeks. And it's the same thing. Maybe not not everyone gets down to this complete extent. Them man get wild with it as well. We're still in the Hellenized, we're still in the Greco-Roman Empire under a different name. The rulership of Edom. So the Gentiles, the salvation belongeth unto, are the Israelites. There's only Israel. What's the title verbatim? No, I can't find it. But only the Israelites, what does it say? Only Israelites are the heirs according to the promise, giving all praises to Yahawah, bahasham, Yahawashi, bahasham, Rachak, Wadash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and labor in the word and doctrine. Shalom meaning peace. May that be unto the elect. Shalom.